Hey guys, it's funny. I was just looking at that intro. That intro is about 11 seconds, and it seems like it's about 11 seconds too long. I'm not sure if we're going to keep that or not. But hey, welcome to another episode of the Sports Show with No Name. I'm your host, Chad Bryan. With me, as always, is Ben Bales with the Blurry Room, and today we've got special guest Coach Michael Pugh. Coach Pugh, what's going on, man?
Hey,
you guys remember
football
Coach Pugh?
season, man.
Yes,
It is football season.
It's a lot of fun. It's my favorite time of year, for sure.
Me too, really. I love the summer, but I love, like, it's funny because what did I see the other day? I saw something talking about how we were like however many days away from the Ohio State-Michigan game. And I got this anxiety. I was like, oh my God, the college football season's almost over. But it hasn't started. There hasn't been a game yet. And I still have that feeling in the pit of my stomach that I've missed everything already. So yeah, I do love this time of year. I guess I don't know. It's hard for me to decide anymore whether or not I like watching college football more than baseball. I don't know. It's tough. I love college football, man. I love this time of year. Ben is out. He doesn't love it. He's gone. He left the show because he hates it so much. Hopefully we'll get him back soon. But anyway, today is our college football Palooza-vaganza. I think that makes sense. Sounds like a word. We're just going to preview. Listen, I'm not going to lie. It's Ohio State heavy. We're going to preview the college football season, but it's pretty Ohio State, some Big Ten-ish. It's Ohio State heavy. Let's just be honest. But real quick, while Ben figures out whatever's going on his end, I do have an announcement. This week, currently going on right now, Tennis in the Land in Cleveland. One of my favorite events in Northeast Ohio. It's a women's tennis tournament. You get like some of the top women's players in the world come through this tournament every year. It's amazing that it's still this hidden little gem in Cleveland. I love it. You can head to tennisintheland.com, right? I should say, because we, websites are important to include all the info. But if you want to get tickets, head to tennisintheland.com. You can check it out. It's going on right now in the West Bank of the Flats at the Nautica Entertainment Complex. And I don't know. You can just you can head over to the website to get tickets to see. I don't have the lineup right in front of me, but it's amazing. I mean, last year I think like 20 of the top 24 players in the world were here.
Yeah.
As far as women's tennis, so just an amazing event. I love like some of these hidden gem sporting events that Cleveland has to offer that I feel like a lot of people just don't really know about. So head to tennisintheland.com, take a look at that. It's one of my favorite things.
I mean,
other than that, we'll just get right into it. Ben, have you been paying attention to Tennis in the Land at all or no?
I have not, but
Okay.
like obviously, like I'll tune in, now that it's starting. But like you said, all these little, like unique sporting events in Cleveland.
Yeah.
You listen to all these athletes talking about Cleveland, and like it seems like Cleveland's becoming a place to like athletes want to come to like plan events or like tournaments or like March Madness, stuff like that. And it's like you realize how much fun people have in Cleveland, and it's like,
yeah.
Well, like, I mean, there's not really much to do here besides,
sports.
Yeah, pretty much.
There's a lot of good food in Cleveland, though. I mean, hey, if you go downtown, there's a lot of great places to eat, man.
There is.
And really even surrounding the downtown area. Like right now in Little Italy, the Feast of the Assumption is going on. That was one of my favorite events. We don't really ever have much time to go anymore, but I love the feast. So that's a cool thing, too. But I do want to get started on our college football preview because I feel like we're going to be talking. I have a lot of notes on this today. We're going to be talking for a while. We'll try to keep it as close as we can to an hour, but you know how it gets. So I don't know. I think the 2025-26 season kind of started off with a bang already. Friday afternoon, and I figured it would be a little bit later in the afternoon, but it was early on in the morning. They released the NCAA released their findings on the whole Michigan sign stealing scandal. Situation just seems to have dragged on forever, didn't it? I mean, it was just going on forever and ever. But we finally have some clarity, and I guess we'll get into that in a moment. I hope the season's going to start off with a bang on the field as well. I've been hearing different. So if you look at the polls, like you said before we started recording, Texas and Penn State are both ranked above Ohio State. But depending on which poll you look at, some people have Texas 1, Ohio State 2. So it would be the first 1-2 matchup to begin the season, the first week of the season ever in college football history. Either way, number one versus number 3 isn't a slouch. I'm looking forward to that. A game of that magnitude would have to be a night game, right? Nope, not a night game.
Nope,
it's not. They're gonna kick it off at 3:30 then, right?
Nope.
Okay. What time is it? What time are they kicking off?
Noon.
It's not noon.
11.
It can't be noon. All right.
It's 11 my time.
Yeah, right. It's not noon your time, right? You don't have to worry about it. So that'll be fun. It'll be 148 degrees on the turf for the most important game of the year for the Buckeyes. So that'll be fun. Look forward to that.
I just don't understand why one of the biggest teams in college football, probably going to be, could be a game of the year, week 1.
Yeah.
Isn't going to be that, that 7:30, 8 o'clock primetime game on a Friday night, or even if you, or I mean, on a Saturday night. Like that is a game that screams primetime game, 7:30 on a Saturday night.
Yeah, like a recruiting mecca, right? Like that's where I mean, it's
a white.
I feel like Ohio State's missing out on a huge chance.
Like, could you imagine Arch Manning's first start as like the actual starting quarterback is under the lights in the shoe?
Yeah. Instead, it's going to be under a 90-degree sun in the shoe.
Yeah.
Whatever. I love Gus. I love the whole idea of the Fox Big Noon kickoff, but I honestly like it more when it's just like during the fall and it's not week 1, right? Like this prime matchup. I mean, this really should be a primetime game. Whatever. Let's talk about the Michigan sign stealing scandal, because 76 pages of an NCAA report were released on Friday. And it's got Michigan fans screaming from the mountaintops that they're innocent. They've been proven innocent. They've been vindicated. They did nothing wrong. Except that's not what it said.
It's ridiculous.
That's not what it said. I don't know how much you guys have had a chance to read through this. I've been trying to leaf through as I can. I've been reading some summaries of it.
I've read.
I tried to read, page 1 to 76. That hasn't happened yet. I haven't had that kind of time with 2 kids. But there really was no fallout from this, right?
No, and their reasoning behind it was because everybody involved is no longer with the team.
Right.
So it's basically telling teams, hey, you guys can cheat, and then you can basically just fire everybody and you'll get away with it.
Yeah, just make sure your coach leaves and you have a really huge senior class, and then throw together the most perverse cheating scandal that maybe sports has ever seen. Mm-hmm. Win a title, and then just, I don't know, duck and cover, and whatever happens, right? I mean, that's kind of the message the NCAA is sending here. This is funny. I did want to bring this up real quick before I get your take on it. I'm sorry, Mike. I just want to bring this up. The NCAA, in their own release, in their own report, used terms like overwhelming evidence, and then when it came to the actual impermissible scouting scheme, which was clearly going on, there was proof of it. Maybe as deep as it went, we don't know, because Connor Stallions threw his phone in a pond, because that's what you do when you're innocent. Then they said that there was what did they say? Insufficient evidence that the scandal provided. So they had overwhelming evidence that pointed to insufficient evidence that this thing did anything. So I guess maybe the secondary message is you can cheat as long as it doesn't help you that much. It's fine. Break the rules, but we don't want to like see an obvious, improvement in you. Like, just cheat and maybe win 4 or 5 more games. Don't push it too much, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I mean, what do you think about this, Mike? I mean, was this a fair punishment or no?
So, two thoughts on it. It felt like real cheating versus buying players' cars, right? Or letting kids sell gold pants, right? For some cash, and it felt like real actual cheating. Like the Astros, right? That kind of cheating versus just recruiting violations, which now they don't even matter.
No.
But the second thing was, it kind of feels like white collar crime. Mm-hmm. Like when they get somebody who did some terrible things, like it, and then they get like a fine, and they're okay. That's the other thing. I don't know if. I think Michigan has a good law school.
For sure.
Maybe that helps.
Great. A lot of really high-profile alumni, deep pockets. I think the NCAA saw some of that and was like, "Hey, we don't want to be on the bad side of that, right?"
Right. So those are my 2 thoughts on it. I mean, $30 million, upwards of $30 million. I mean, that's a nice chunk. Yeah. It doesn't affect Michigan or Ohio State or Texas that much.
No. If this was Marshall, I mean, the program would be leveled by a $30 million fine.
I mean, Chad, me and you were talking about that like through text. We're like, if this was any other program, like they're probably getting the death sentence, and it's like
probably
like it's Like
And
everybody.
maybe that's some of my Ohio State bias leaking through, but it felt like it, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And Mike, I don't know if you saw the post that the NCAA did confirm that was Connor Stalions on the sidelines at that Central Michigan game.
Yep.
And then it stuck him out that they said they had insufficient evidence that Michigan was sign stealing.
Yeah, facial recognition cams have confirmed that. Yeah.
Unbelievable. I mean,
and Connor Stalions even confirmed too that he was wearing those Ray-Ban Meta sunglasses that record.
Yeah, he was just there playing his own game of Mission Impossible, Ben. He wasn't doing anything for Coach Harbaugh. Coach Harbaugh didn't know. He's a great guy. He's a great guy. He didn't know. He had no idea.
Speaking of that, did you see that his show cause ban does not start until after his current contract with the Chargers is up?
Yeah, I think the next time he can coach is like 2038, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm sure that's what he'll do. He'll fly back to college football in 14 years and take over a program when he's 109 years old. That seems legitimate. That's probably a good punishment for him. It's like I saw a great post. Someone commented, it's like banning a guy from the break room at a factory where he retired 10 years ago. Like, all right, well, I'll try not to mosey through. I mean, but you know what I mean? Like, he's not going back. It's unbelievable. It's just it's so funny that like I've seen so many Michigan fans like literally like sounding the alarm, like taunting Ohio State fans about this. I mean, I don't really care one way or another. Like, my team just won a national championship. I'm pretty happy about that. I expected more of a punishment. It doesn't change what happened. It doesn't mean that the Buckeyes haven't lost 4 in a row to Michigan. I mean, none of that would have changed. It just would, it would have looked like a W instead of an L, I guess, in the win column for Ohio State. But we all know what would have happened. We all know what actually happened on the field, which is weird. I mean, it's weird that they've lost 4 in a row anyway. I mean, they've lost to some pretty bad Michigan teams. But I just expected, it's like I expected Major League Baseball to take the whole Astros situation more seriously. And for the record, with the Astros situation, I think I would have, I've said this before on the show, I would have been okay if the Astros, if anyone, general manager, the owner, anybody, the manager, even a couple players would have come forth and said, hey, look, we had a lot of jobs on the line, right? Like, this is an important thing. A lot of people depend on us. We really wanted to win for these people. We really wanted to come through for these people, and we pushed it too far, right? Like, we got carried away. We apologized. We knew it was wrong. We were doing it. Of course, we knew it was wrong. We didn't really realize the scope of it until we got caught. And then it was like, okay, wow, we got to take a look inside. Whatever. Like there's all kinds of PR things that you can say that could have made them feel warm and fuzzy, right? Like, Michigan has been nowhere close to any of that. I mean, suppressing evidence, destroying university property. I mean, coercing student interns to lie. It's all there in the 76-page report, but Michigan fans will tell you online, hey, they've been vindicated. Look, we did nothing wrong. I told you. Stalions is a great guy. Told you. Harbaugh's excellent. Top tier when it comes to, like, come on. Like, it's literally in the report. They cheated. There's evidence that they cheated. The NCAA just didn't want to punish anyone that wasn't involved with the program anymore, and they say they didn't have obvious evidence of how much it helped. I don't know. 40-3 over 3 years of the national title seems, I don't know. Seems like quite a bit of help, but whatever.
Like somebody said, it's like you look at the record before that whole thing came out, and like you said, 40-3 when that came out, you're like,
yeah,
something doesn't correlate there. You went from being very under mediocre to being one of the best teams in college football. Like, from
10 seasons, barely being able to take the field without tripping over your own feet, to 40-3 with the national title. Hey, look, maybe it could have been the Harbaugh effect. I don't know. It wasn't going so well before that, though. It's odd to me that the calendar timing of when the cheating scandal was supposedly going on, Michigan was really good.
And the funny part is not only was Michigan really good, but like JJ McCarthy went from average to really good. Their running backs went from average to really good.
Yeah. Did you see how far McCarthy's completion percentage went down?
I did.
Remember they were exposed like 9 games in, right? And then they played Purdue, and I think they beat Purdue like 13-10 or something. He barely could get a pass off. It didn't look good. I mean, if you paid attention, it didn't look good. But, we all know the NCAA doesn't watch these games. They rule on them 5 years later. So what does that matter?
One more take on this.
Sure.
It's even at the high school level, there's like 3 plays that happen that change the course of a game. In most games, in any competitive game, there's 3 plays. You don't know when they're going to happen, and you just got to capitalize when it is. Once you get to that level of college football, that level is the equivalent to the NFL, where you have, I mean, it's slight percentages. it's very slight percentages give you that advantage. And so if someone says, "Oh, it's science stealing," yeah, the game's happening so fast.
Yeah.
But that it's not like there's 5 coaches in the entire 7 through 12 program like we have. That there's actually, they have how many staffers?
Well, I mean
they got
15 to 25, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
That's our average class where my kids go to school.
And they can't all be listed as coaches. Sometimes they're they're analysts, they're whatever, but they're there. They're on the sidelines or they're in the booth. They're helping out with the program. Yeah.
Yeah. Any slight advantage you can get at that level is significant.
Yep.
Is very, very significant in those big games. And it's a lot of money, right? I mean, just imagine how much, I don't know if they've calculated how much more money they make in a year where they're 11-1 or 11-2 versus, like last year, 6-6. I mean, there's tons and tons of money
it's a big difference
made when they're winning.
Yep. It's all about TV money too. I mean, you get the huge TV. I mean, they're going to Germany and next year to play a game. Presumably Sharon Moore will not be around for that because he got one game. I should say, by the way, we didn't really talk about the punishment. It was an additional game for Sharon Moore, who was proven to have deleted texts between himself and Connor Stallions. He was also listed with Connor Stallions and with Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan program overall as being a repeat offender, which is, by the way, the distinction that only 2 schools have ever gotten the repeat offender status, Michigan and SMU back in the 80s. And we all know what happened to SMU back in 1987. The NCAA issued the death penalty, leveled that program. They couldn't compete for upwards of 30 years afterwards. So they were out for 2 years, didn't compete at all for 2 years. When they came back, they couldn't even travel. They only played home games. I'm not saying, I'm not even saying it would have been good for college football if that had happened to Michigan. But you just expected something a little more serious, right? You remember the Reggie Bush situation? This is up our alley, Mike. This was our time.
Yeah.
His parents bought a house from a guy who I think just wanted to be Reggie Bush's agent. I don't think this had anything to do with USC. This didn't have anything to do with actually getting him to USC. And I know there were a lot of things going on with Pete Carroll and inside that program, but the Reggie Bush situation has always astounded me because I think USC, how many wins did they vacate? 14 wins or whatever it was.
I think it was 10.
10, whatever. Okay, so double-digit wins. Because Reggie Bush's parents found a guy that wanted to be an NFL agent and found them a house in the area and provided, I think, somebody with a job or whatever. I just saw a thing where Notre Dame had to vacate some wins because a student tutor helped 5 players write an essay, and they considered that to be over the line. We're vacating wins because these guys went to a tutor to get help with. And this whole thing, I mean, like I said, they called themselves the KGB, Stallions and whoever else was involved in this whole conspiracy. 56 games, by the way, where they bought tickets and he sent someone to represent him. He says, well, I love college football. My family and friends love college football. So, I just happened to buy these 56 tickets to, our future opponents' games. They had nothing to do with scouting. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Whatever. The whole situation is irritating. And like I said, Michigan fans like touting this like it's some huge victory is bizarre to me. I guess this is where we are in society, though. I mean, if this were Ohio State, I'd be embarrassed, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even I probably wouldn't even watch them.
Oh,
it'd be kind of one of those things where it's like, yeah, I'll watch college football, but I ain't watching Ohio State.
Yeah, and I guess I'd still watch them, but I wouldn't be out pounding my chest. Hey, look, we got away with the worst cheating scandal sports have ever seen. Look at us. Like, I don't know. It just seems weird. Whatever. Yeah, 10-year show cause penalty for Harbaugh, 8-year show cause penalty for Stallions. These guys are never coming back to college football. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, no.
Who would hire Connor Stallions at this point? I don't know, maybe Lane Kiffin, but whatever. That's a low blow. I'm sorry. Whatever. Just light recruiting limitations as well. I think there's a limitation on number of visits as well. That's it.
But college football is better when Ohio State and Michigan are both good.
Yeah, agreed. And that's why I wish this could have happened organically. And it probably, listen, Michigan had plenty of talent. It probably, I don't know if they would have been 11-0, 12-0, whatever. But they would have been really good. It still would have been a good team. I just wish it would have happened organically. It's whatever. You can read the report for yourself. You can go to the NCAA's website and search for it, and it just, or search Google for just NCAA Michigan report, and you can download all 76 pages. And Pretend that you're going to read them one day like I did. I think I'm like
read
on
them on
page
stream.
11.
We should read them on live one day, Chad.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have an episode where it's like a 5-hour episode where I just read really slowly and I point to the lines on camera as I'm reading. It'll be awesome. It's like a bedtime story. Let's get into our actual Ohio State football deep dive, because it's weird that we started this whole show off with Michigan. I feel like that's weird. I guess Michigan fans would say that they live rent free in my head. So whatever. I just thought that was important news. We needed to talk about that. Whatever. Here we are. I think we all know what's been going on with Ryan Day, right? Like everyone says he can't win the big game, or he couldn't win the big game until last year. Obviously, they won some big games down the stretch. He's lost to Michigan 4 times in a row. I'll be honest with you, I don't really care about that. I mean, it's a regular season game. It means so much less now with the 12-team playoff. It's whatever, right?
Yeah. But I think my favorite thing that I saw last year from Ryan Day was, I don't know if you guys saw that clip where he was motivating the team, talking about, like, this is your family. Like, what would you do to, like if somebody, like hurt your brothers. Yeah. And it's kind of like I think that's something he was always missing. Like you think of like Urban Meyer, he was a master motivator, right? Like he could get any team, like he could make his college team think they're going to go out there and beat the Patriots.
Yeah.
Like that's just who he was. Yeah. You look at that Ohio
and then get blown out by Purdue. So, whatever.
But you look at that Ohio State team though, before that speech, right? They were, I mean, they lost to Michigan, lackluster game. But then that speech comes out from Ryan Day, and it's like it just lit a fire under them, and they came out and had one of the most dominant 4-game stretches in college football history.
Yeah, and there's too much going on in social media. I know they heard all the things that people were saying about them, so it was really good to see them come out with a little bit of that competitive fire and that pride, right?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like if he can keep that motivation up, like I think Ohio State can go back to back.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it's possible. I don't see why. It's hard in college football. It is to go back to back, but
it is. But it's just. I think that's one thing that Urban Meyer lacked. Though, was like those big games, like you said, the game against Purdue. Like it's kind of sometimes where like he didn't know when he had to motivate his guys. Yeah. But I think it's the thing with Ryan Day. Like last year, like he knew he had to motivate his guys. But it seems like under Ryan Day, we never lose to those Purdues, those Iowas. Like
no, we only lose 47-1 against the rest of the Big Ten. Anybody that's not named Michigan. I mean,
like
no.
So it's like it doesn't really seem like we have that issue under Ryan Day that we did under Urban Meyer, where we lose, those games to. Those midweek games to Iowa in the middle of the season where we get absolutely the brakes blown off us.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just, it'll be interesting.
By a quarterback and a tight end, really. I mean,
that
was it. I don't know. Mike, I mean, how do you feel about Ryan Day? Are you a Ryan Day guy?
I am now. I mean, he deferred. That was the biggest thing. It's like he got it. He's deferring. He's, last year, brings in the best possible person for the offense.
Yeah.
Coach Kelly.
Truly.
Or not Kelly.
Chip Kelly.
Yeah, Chip Kelly.
Yeah. No.
And that was brilliant because they were having trouble with the running game, and I don't think anybody's better at making something from nothing with the running game than Chip Kelly. That was brilliant, I thought.
And I think he's it's any big program. I mean, what it is you need to have a general manager, and the smartest teams are doing that. They're bringing in the whether it's NFL guys or just more of the business, and that's how you get recruits. Yeah. Now it's way different than I mean, the transfer portal is just wild, right? But
it's pretty wild.
It's all a matter of your either your collective or your NIL budget.
Yeah,
and they raise money like crazy there.
Yeah, they do.
And I mean, Chad, this with me. Like, I was not a fan of Ryan Day calling plays.
Yeah.
So kind of like Mike said last year, bringing in Chip Kelly, it was kind of one of those things. Like, okay, like going into the season, like I knew he's not going to bring in Chip Kelly and not have Chip Kelly call the plays, right? Because why do you bring in a guy like that and then not have him call the plays? Like,
right.
Like you bring.
He's not a guy trying to make a name for himself, exactly. Right? Yeah, right.
Like Mike said, that's a guy that you bring in that you can trust, that is going to handle a situation to the best of his ability. And it's kind of like this year with the defense, right? Like you lose Jim Knowles, arguably one of the best defensive coordinators in football.
Yep.
And you go out and you sign Matt Patricia. Like, but he also led how many Super Bowl winning defenses in New England?
3.
Like so he's gonna be good. He's a good coach. So it's kind of one of those things too, where it's like now my worry going into this year is how is Brian Hartline going to be calling plays?
Okay, so that's what I was going to ask, because Mike, you brought up a great point with like Ryan Day, when he seemed to get it right. He did this a couple years ago when they played Georgia in the playoff. Like all of a sudden, the play style completely changed. Right, they're like a completely different Ohio State team. Then Marvin Harrison Jr. gets hurt or whatever, and things go awry from there on. Obviously, Georgia came back and won. But they just like the play calling changed, right? Like just all of a sudden they were taking these chances that they weren't willing to take during the year. And I don't know if it's just like let it fly, playoff Ryan Day, or if he's just trying. But we've seen this before. Urban Meyer's done the same thing when he was the coach at Ohio State. He came in with his hair on fire, right? Like after the whole Luke Fickell season, they go 12-0. There's a postseason ban, whatever. I don't know if they would have won a national title that year or not, but you can speculate on that all you want. You can, hindsight's 2020. You can look back. But regardless, he came in with a okay roster and went 12-0, right? That's pretty impressive. And then it seemed like after that, like once they were, I don't know, like you could just see them like white knuckle through some games, right? Where like they would win 13-7 or whatever. And it's like they had the capability to go out there and just blow the brakes off of you, man, but they didn't always do it. And I know these are college kids. They don't always execute. Yep. Whatever, you got things going on. They've got a million things in their heads. Trust me that, aren't always football. They're human. They're not robots. They're not machines. I don't know what you want from them. But it just seems like sometimes that play calling, and it could be because of an injury that we don't know about, or, in that case, that one year I think they played Michigan State and Zeke had a pretty bad staph infection, and Meyer just didn't want to give him the ball because he was worried about his health. And everyone's like, it's rain. It's pouring down rain. Just run Zeke. But he was really concerned about his health, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But it just, we've seen this before. It's like, will Ryan Day ever just be able to let it go through the regular season and just, whatever, like let it fly and just, I don't know. Can he do that? I don't know. I'm not really sure. Does Brian Hartline call the plays? Do you think?
It's already been confirmed. He is.
Yeah. He is. Okay. That has been confirmed. Good. Okay, good. So, wait, for all the Ryan Day stuff, he's 70-10. Like I said, he's 48-5 total in Big Ten games, 2 Big Ten championship games, won 2 Big Ten titles. They've been in the playoffs 4 times. They've won a national title. He's 24-9 against top 25 teams. He's 7-6 against top 5 teams. I mean, he's got a winning record in pretty much any situation that you can think of except against Michigan. That's it. I don't know. I'll take it. Let's get to the head coach because we talked about the coaching staff, whatever. Let's talk about some of the coaching changes. Matt Patricia comes in, the defensive coordinator. He's got the NFL pedigree. We just talked about. He's won some Super Bowls. But there's kind of an under-the-radar hire that they brought in Josh Boyer as a defensive analyst. And I'm intrigued to see what that is going to do for the Buckeyes. There are like some rumors out there that he's kind of like the bridge between Patricia and the players. He's like, because Patricia had a hard time relating to players in the NFL. And I don't know what the difference is, but supposedly that's going really well at Ohio State. So far, that's great in Columbus. It's hard to tell, what gets filtered when it comes out or whatever, but you hear what you hear. And I hear it's going really well. So I don't know if Josh Boyer's there to just keep Patricia and Day at, because remember the rumors last year that Day kind of stepped in for Jim Knowles.
Well, that's what I was going to say. But last year at the same time, before that Oregon game, before that Oregon game, our defense was not what it should have been. Like we were not good. We couldn't stop anything. And then Ryan Day starts sitting in on the defense and starts telling defense how he would beat them.
Couldn't do that without Chip Kelly, by the way.
Yeah. But then all of a sudden our defense turned into like the best defense college football had ever seen.
Suddenly.
And it's like, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I wonder if like Josh Boyer is going to be kind of like that thing, kind of like the yin to Matt Patricia's yang, like, okay, like, hey, you want to do this, but what if a team does this? Like, how are you going to counter it?
Yeah. I like the idea of bringing him in. He's an Ohio guy, by the way. He's from Ohio. And I want to address this comment from my cousin Nate. He says, I hate how much flack this has gotten. Isn't sign stealing a gray area, much like in baseball? Yes, to that part, I will agree with that, but I'll get to it in a second. Shouldn't be so much of a punishment. Michigan was just smarter than other teams. Yeah, I mean, they were smarter than other teams in the fact that they got away with this for almost 3 full seasons. But sign stealing is fine. If you've got a guy on the sidelines during game day that can decipher the signals coming from the other sideline, steal away. I mean, they're right there for you. It's no big deal. It's just like a guy on second base stealing the catcher sign. People get upset about that, but I mean, they're right there. I can see them. If you decipher the whatever, the code that they're going through, then fine, steal the signs. That's great. But the problem is the in-person advanced scouting. That's illegal by the book. That's literally listed in the rule book. That's illegal. That's a no-no. And that's what Michigan was proved to have been doing for 56 games. Nate says, don't hate the player, hate the game. I can hate both. It's my show. I'm allowed to hate whoever I want. But no, I appreciate that, Nate. I appreciate the comment. But yeah, I just think it was the advanced in-person scouting that was the problem. Not to get back to it too much, but I just think that was the issue, right? That this wasn't a guy like just really quick on his feet on the sidelines going, okay, well, there are some signals that I think are just so obvious from teams that it's hard not to steal them, right? But then there's some more complex things. You got 4 or 5 guys out there in different colored polos and hats. Like, they're all some are doing dummy stuff, whatever. There's a lot going on. If you've got a guy that can decipher all that in real time or just from what he sees on some game film, then great, do it, man. No problem. But I think the way Michigan did it is the biggest problem. But yeah, I was gonna say I like Josh Boyer. He was right there, by the way, with Matt Patricia in all 3 of those Super Bowls and with the Patriots. So for what it's worth, he was basically a defensive backs coach. He was coaching corners, then coaching safeties, and he was a little bit of an analyst for those Bill Belichick for the Bill Belichick defenses. So I don't know. You'd like to think that Belichick tree does something, right?
So real quick on you talk about Boyer coming in. You talk about any newer coordinator or Ryan Day, stepping away. Sometimes coordinators they get just so drunk on their system, right? Mm-hmm. They'll get really drunk on it, and then they'll come up on something that there's always somebody out there who's smarter than you, and they got what you got figured out, but you aren't willing to make the change in the moment where, you know what? Boyer might be the one telling Patricia that, dude, this 3-4 is just not working, or we need to, let's look at this. This twist is going to work a heck of a lot better than that stunt. And, in that second set of very, very brilliant eyes in the moment is so important. And I think that's where him in that analyst role really, really will work.
They seem to work really well together.
Like I said, I think it was kind of last year. Like, it's kind of why Jim Knowles wanted. Like, it's kind of why Jim Knowles went out. Like, he likes to do things his way. Mm-hmm. Like you said, no matter what happens. Like I said last year for the Oregon game, we could not stop the run.
No.
But and he just kept doing the same thing over and over and over. And Ryan Day's like, look, we're not going to win a national title doing this.
You can't leave the middle of the field wide open for 25 yards. I mean,
then he stepped in, and our defense became one of the best ever. And you're like, okay, why couldn't he have done this earlier in the year?
Yeah, did he not believe in a quarterback spy? Like, I'm just very confused about. I don't know.
Who knows?
There are so many things they could have done with Dylan Gabriel and some other quarterbacks that really tore them up. And really, if Aller had made 1 or 2 more throws in that Penn State game, that was a loss, by the way.
Yep.
I don't know. I think there were a lot of holes in Jim Knowles' scheme. Holes in Knowles? Okay. I think there were a lot of holes in his scheme that he just didn't see. And I think, Mike, you're exactly right. Guys get drunk on their own system, and they start, well, if I just had the guys that fit my system, well, I mean, maybe let's have some flexibility in the system to fit the guys you have, because the guys you have are the guys you have.
Well,
you can't make up prospects and bring in who you want, right? You can get pretty lucky with a guy like Caleb Downs, but
look at Chip Kelly last year, right? Yes, arguably Ohio State had one of the greatest offenses ever, right? But at the same time, right? He also fit his offense to who he had and the players he had. And even when one player wasn't having a great game, right? He would find a scheme to get somebody else open. And it's kind of one of those things this year with, like you said, you've arguably you probably have the best defensive player in the country in Caleb Downs, right?
Yeah.
That's a guy that you have to build around, and you have to let him go out there and make plays. Because if you don't, it's going to be the same thing that happened last year. It's going to hurt you late in the season, and you're not going to be able to make plays.
Yeah, I agree. I think you just have to have some flexibility, and you have to be able to see. And maybe Boyer's a very good in-game analyst, where it's like a lot of guys can go back and look at film and go, okay, here's where we messed up. We shouldn't have brought this pressure off the edge. Maybe, and I think Boyer's another, because if I'm not mistaken, I think Patricia is more of a front 7 guy. And I think maybe just having the defensive back coach back there, maybe they work together in that way. It's like, hey, this is how what you're doing up front affects my guys here in the back. Maybe let's work together to whatever. You know what I mean?
Yep.
For the 4-2-5 defense is kind of foreign to me anyway, though. I love the idea of having that third hybrid safety linebacker guy that you can kind of use in both roles.
That's going to be Caleb Downs.
You think so? I thought maybe more of Sonny Styles. I thought they might drop because he's as a safety.
Well, he's a linebacker. He made the switch to linebacker. He said this year that Caleb Downs is going to play more of like that roaming nickel.
Okay.
Kind of they're going to start, I think, 2 juniors at safety. And they're kind of, it's going to be kind of like, imagine the Steelers defense when they had Troy Polamalu. Hey, go find the ball, go make a play.
Yes.
That's going to kind of what it's going to be like with Caleb Downs. Like, hey, we need you to double this guy, go double that guy.
I think in a pinch, you can do that with Styles as well. I think
I agree. I agree. He's got he's got the size, he's got the speed. But it's kind of one of those things too, where you could drop both those guys into coverage, and you got 8 guys in coverage, and
Yeah. Show blitz and drop. Yeah. All of a sudden you've got a problem.
Pretty hard to find 4 receivers open when they're getting guarded by 8 guys.
It's pretty tough. It's pretty tough. And then, by the way, your front 3 are getting pressure. That's pretty good. Then you got to get pressure on the defensive line. That was much better last year toward the end of the season. So we'll see if that keeps up. Let's get to the.
You said 14. Wait, you said 14-5.
Yes.
So I always got confused when guys were calling it, but now that I understand actual defenses and stuff,
yes,
it's just a 4-4.
Yeah.
Only your outside linebackers can actually cover these elite slot back receivers.
Yeah, I agree. It's a hybrid 4-4. That's exactly what it is.
That's all it is.
But
definitely those dudes got to be able to tackle and
I think
they got to be able to run with somebody too. They got to be able to run with somebody.
Yes.
And kind of like Chad said, I mean, you look at Sonny Styles and you look at Caleb Downs, arguably probably 2 of the best tackling guys in the country.
Yeah.
And if those are going to be your like 2 quote unquote outside linebackers, like good luck sneaking that back. Good luck sneaking that running back out of the backfield.
6'4", 243. 5-star, being able to cover any slot in the Big Ten.
Yeah,
and they have another corner that's 6'4" as well. By the way, that's all kinds of size back there. That's terrifying.
I'm 6'4".
Yeah.
To be able to cover a guy like that's very, very difficult to do.
Yeah, I'm 6'3". Sometimes I have trouble getting up the stairs without tripping once or twice.
Dude, it's that saying where people say, "Oh, Ohio State doesn't rebuild; they just reload." Like you look at all the defensive talent we lost last year. Jack Sawyer, JTT, all those guys, and then you look at all the guys Matt Patricia is going to have, to mess around with this year, and you're like, where do these guys come from? Like,
I know it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun, and there's a reason Ryan Day's never been outside the top 10 at Ohio State. It's not because he was born on third. It's because it's very easy in theory to take over an established, really well-run program that's at the level that Ohio State is. Because, I mean, for instance, in Miami, I mean, whoever took over for Larry Coker did a great job, right? No, they ran Miami into the ground. You remember what happened after Larry Coker left Miami? It's not easy to maintain that. It's not just the easiest thing in the world because they were a situation that should have fed itself, right? Like it should have just kept rolling, but it didn't. It's not easy. It's not easy. Even if you are born on third, I mean, you still got to it's still 90 feet to home plate, but whatever. I just don't think it's as easy as it sounds.
I mean, I've talked about this, Chad, with our friend, Mr. Covey. We talked about how, Urban Meyer kind of recruited those guys, close to Ohio. He built those teams on, that whole when he came to Ohio, he built the team on that whole underdog mentality. I'm going to go recruit these guys from these small towns.
Yeah.
They might still be 4 or 5 stars, but they're from, they're that one small town athlete that was a star.
He also loved Georgia, by the way. Got a lot of good talent out of Georgia.
He did. But now you look at Ryan Day, right? And Ryan Day is literally taking talent right out of that, Chad, like we talked about, that Pacific Midwest, like that Oregon, Washington,
unreal.
Down to California, into Texas, into Florida. Like you think about it, Jeremiah Smith is from Florida, right?
Yeah.
Under Urban Meyer, we never get Jeremiah Smith.
No.
And then you
probably not.
No.
He really thought about going to Miami at the last second.
And that's what I'm saying. But I don't think I'll give this credit to Brian Hartline too. Without Brian Hartline, without Ryan Day,
there it is.
You don't land all these great receivers that you're getting, or even just all these great guys in general. Because Brian Hartline is also a big recruiter as well. He doesn't just recruit receivers. Like people forget that. Like Brian Hartline goes on these in-house visits to get whoever when Ryan Day can't get it done, or when Ryan Day isn't available. So it's like,
what do you think it is about his personality? By the way, is it just like, what do you think it is about him that
I just think that he cares about the players and cares about them getting better and cares about them, cares about preparing them for the next level. It's like, you look at, if any of you guys have played the college football video game, when you get recruited, it says, what are you looking for at the next level? And it says, getting prepared for the pros. And it's like, I think you look at Ohio State and you look how many guys they've sent professionally in the last, decade. And you're like, okay,
truly. It's a machine.
Or if you're a receiver, you're like, okay, if I go there, there's a good chance I'm going in the first round.
Yeah. Good chance. Yeah.
It's kind of
even without much production, even being the second receiver on the roster. Yeah. I mean, you can, it's
I just think it's crazy. And going back to what, Mike said earlier, recruiting now is not what it used to be. No. Like back then, recruiting was a skill.
Yeah.
Like you had to be able to recruit and be good with people. Nowadays, you can say, hey, we'll give you $25 million. You want to come play for Ohio State?
Yeah. It can be like that. I don't know that it should be. We can get into that on another episode. I know we're thinking about doing an NIL episode soon. We've got to talk about that, though, because I don't think it should be used as a recruiting tool. I don't like that about it. I love the idea of these guys getting paid for their performance, their name, their image, their likeness. Love it. Don't love using it as a recruiting tool, but it is what it is. It's where we are. I don't know that it's going to change. I think it could. I think it would be positive to see some change in that, but we'll see. But I'm going to get onto the offense. Mike, I want to ask you first. You're an X's and O's guy. It's hard to know any of this without actually being in practice and seeing the way practice is going, but you hear some things that leak out every once in a while. Your gut instinct on August 30th when they play, this game at noon in Columbus, this supposed large game that everyone's talking about, right? This 190-degree on the turf day. Who's going to be the starting quarterback for Ohio State? Is it Lincoln Keenholz or is it Julian Sayin?
I think it's going to be Sayin.
Yeah.
I mean, he's that special of a talent. That my brother actually saw him play one game. He lives in Oceanside, and he went down to Carlsbad just to see this kid play. And he said, we've been around some decent quarterbacks. You try to see special guys when they pop up around. Yeah. And he said it. It's like the kid sees something different on the field, but then you find out that he's got the zip, he's got the swagger. I just see him beating out Kleinholz, and as good of an athlete as Kleinholz is, it's got to be Sayin. But then he's gonna struggle. I mean, there's a reason why third, right? Third in the country and one of the polls. Yeah. Well, the two teams ahead of them have established starters with Allard and
even though Manning hasn't established himself as a player, we all know the Manning family. I think
played a couple, right? Yeah. He started 2 games last year, and then he prepared all offseason for his team. And that's way different than competing all throughout camp without being named and sharing reps. There's a lot there. So I think that by a couple games in, Sayin's going to establish himself as that that next special quarterback for Ohio State.
I think the 2 quarterback system doesn't work. Ben, what do you think about this? Who's your starter?
I think it'll be Keenholz. Only reason why I'm saying that is because, obviously, we can't trust everything we see online. No. But, I've seen videos where,
Abraham Lincoln said that.
They show one good throw from Sayin, but then everybody else, you click on the page and the guy's like, Sayin intercepted. You're like, and then it says Keenholz touchdown. And you're looking at it like they're going against the same.
Maybe Keenholz is running on the field, intercepting these passes and then running back for a touchdown. Maybe you think? But can't trust everything we see.
I will say this. I agree with what Mike said. Yeah, I've seen Sayin throw the ball, and that dude's got some arm talent. Like he can make every throw on the field. But it's kind of one of those things like JT Barrett, right? Like when JT Barrett couldn't get going throwing the ball, what would they do? A lot of read options, a lot of RPOs, right? Let him just read the defense and make plays with his legs and get him settled in. There's quick, little,
Ryan Day doesn't like the read option very much though.
But he's never really, if you think about it, he's never really had besides Justin Fields, he's never really had an elite mobile quarterback, right? CJ Stroud can run, but he didn't like to. Because he's like Sayin, right? He had all the arm talent in the world. But you look when he had Justin Fields, right? Like Justin Fields had the ability to, I don't like what I'm going to see. I'm going to take off and run.
Yeah. He took a lot of shots. Remember? Oh my gosh, man.
He did. But at the same time,
the Clemson game, the shot to the back. Oh, man.
But you look at every single mobile quarterback, even in the NFL. Lamar Jackson takes a lot of hits, right? Josh Allen takes a lot of hits. Jalen Hurts takes a lot of hits, right? If you're one of those running quarterbacks, you can't be scared to take those hits. And that's one thing about Justin Fields. He wasn't afraid. And from like you said, Lincoln Keenholz is an incredible athlete and playing 3 sports in high school. He's tough.
Maybe one of the top 5 or 10 athletes on the team.
Yeah. 3 years in the system.
Yeah.
3 years in the system, which is with the
and everybody wants to judge him based on one game where he took no reps in practice all week with the 1s or the 2s, was literally running the scout team, didn't know the offense, had to go in after an injury and after a guy transferred out. And people want to judge him on that game alone. And by the same standard, people are judging Sayin on one throw. at the end of a game last year. I mean, it's wild against Tennessee. Remember, he threw a ball low. That's it. You can't. I've seen enough.
And going back to what Mike said about having an established quarterback, right? Like you look at Penn State, they got Drew Aller. You look at Texas, they got Arch Manning, right?
Yeah.
But what
Drew Aller, by the way, upped his completion percentage from like 59 to 66 last year. You think he has another? If he has another jump like that, Ohio State could be in trouble against Penn State.
They could be, but at the same time, I think it's one of those things too where it's like, it seems like every time Drew Aller's played Ohio State, he can't seem to figure him out.
It did seem to kind of have the yips, and it still is James Franklin. He still has he's got a little bit of an Ohio State problem.
But going back to what Mike said, Lincoln Kienholz has been in the system for 3 years, right? He's one of those guys that, like, you talk about loyalty. He stuck it out through all these different quarterbacks, and he's finally getting his chance. I think, and like I told you guys off stream, he's the only quarterback to ever win the Iron Buckeye.
Yeah.
And every player that's ever won the Iron Buckeye has been a starter.
All right.
Or at least I take that back. At least under Ryan Day, every quarterback that's won the Iron Buckeye has been a starter.
Yeah. Whoever wins is going to be a first round pick.
I agree. I mean,
either way.
How could you not with the talent you have on the outside? Like Jeremiah Smith, Brandon Ennis, Carnell Tate.
My goodness, they have talent. And don't forget about Purdue transfer Max Clare. I mean, they've probably got the best tight end in the country now.
But I think it's one of those things too, right? Where it's like, okay, say he throws Kienholz out there, right? And say you struggle and you lose that first Texas game. Maybe week 2 you throw Julian Sain out there and you're like, okay, let's see what he can do, right? And if he
I don't think Ryan Day wants to get into that. I don't think he wants to switch quarterbacks up like that, But
it's one of those things too, right? Where you can't go 4 games and you can't be 1-3.
No.
Lincoln Kienholz. I think it's one of those things where you got to make a change sooner than later.
Well, if they lose a couple of those games that they play in the early season, then we're going to have a whole different problem. If they start 1-3, they're going 2-10 because they're not going to beat any Big Ten teams if they can't beat Grambling and whoever else. But yeah, I want to talk about the rest of the offense, because we know about Jeremiah Smith. We know he's going to be a huge factor. I mean, at the very worst,
maybe a Heisman candidate.
Oh yeah, and at the very worst, he'll create opportunities for other guys, right? Like, even if you do the bracket thing and put 3 guys and have him follow him all over the field, whatever, you shut him down. But now here's Carnell Tate with 12 catches for 180 yards and 3 touchdowns or whatever.
I mean, you look at that. I was going to say, you look at that Notre Dame game from last year, right? Yeah. Emeka Buka was like, "Hey, we haven't targeted him all in the second half. He's like, the go ball's open, and he throws it and it's wide open, and then they go back to putting 3 guys on him, and Emeka Buka scores a touchdown. You're like,
it makes me feel good how smart we always talked about Buka was at Ohio State. And now Baker Mayfield's talking about it with Tampa Bay. It's like he's got this football IQ that's off the charts.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Max Clare, though, I think this gives the Buckeyes maybe the most boost. Like, if they can find a quarterback that can just consistently make the throws, make the reads, and make the throws, I think Clare gives them a whole nother level of productivity at tight end. You realize he was 3rd-team All-American last year behind 2 first-rounders, right? Like, he was the guy from Penn State. I don't know why I'm blanking on his name. And Colston Loveland, Tyler Warren from Penn State. And Colston Loveland were 1st and 2nd. I'm sorry, there were 2 first-round picks. They were 1st and 2nd-team All-Americans. And here was Max Clare, at Purdue, right? 51 catches, 685 yards, 4 touchdowns, 3rd-team All-American. And just imagine what he's, by the way, he's on the preseason watch list for the Mackey, the Biletnikoff, and I think the Lombardi Awards. So he's not really under the radar, but I think a lot of people just forget that, like, all of a sudden Ohio State has this really dynamic tight end who probably could be a little bit better in blocking. I don't think he's a great blocker, but you still got Will Kazmarek for that. We'll see a lot of 2 tight end sets, I think, from Ohio State and Ryan Day still. But yeah, I think Max Clare is like kind of the X factor on this offense. Even though we've got Jeremiah Smith, Brandon Ennis, Carnell Tate, whatever, I think Clare is like the difference maker, right?
I mean, we've always talked about
the passing game.
I mean, we've always talked about, Chad, if you have a good tight end, it opens up the entire offense, right?
Absolutely.
Because if that guy's just going to sit in a little pocket, and if he's going to have to occupy a linebacker or a safety, right? Some part of the field is open for a double move or a hard cut route or one of those.
And no more bracketing Jeremiah Smith and having 3 guys follow him. You can't just sit 20 yards deep and let Clare kill you 18 yards over the middle every time. Like, you can't do it.
I mean, Mike, you know that coach in high school football, right? Like you've seen that blown coverage, and you're like, dude, just dump it off, and the guy takes it 70 yards for a touchdown, and you're like, okay, well, we can't double that guy anymore because that guy's wide open.
Yeah.
And it's the same in college too, right? Like Chad said, like, you can't just bracket Jeremiah Smith with three corners and just be like, okay, we'll just leave him wide open. Okay, well, I'll just take it 25 yards down the middle of the field.
Yeah.
Like,
yep. The other guys
they'll do what everybody did to Ohio State last year.
Yeah.
They're not walk-ons going on the field. They're your number 2 and 3 are not walk-ons.
Yeah.
Right. They're five-star
guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
They could be starting anywhere and being all, first team, all whatever conference.
Yep.
But they're behind Jeremiah Smith with the best receivers coach in the country.
And speaking of the best receiver, talking about Brian Hartline calling plays, right? From what I've heard is that it's basically going to kind of be like a Chip Kelly system, just with a few wrinkles that, Ryan Day and Brian Hartline have added in.
Yeah.
Because obviously he's not Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly's one of the smartest play callers ever, right? Like,
Chip Kelly is diabolical at times, man. Like looking at some of his sets and some of the motion and misdirection, it's wild. Yeah.
But obviously, like, that's what got Ryan Day the head coaching job at Ohio State, was his ability to call plays, right?
Yep.
But I think once you become a head coach, right, you have to look at the bigger picture and you have to look at the whole team. And I think when he was calling plays, he wasn't able to do that. Now that you shift that focus to Brian Hartline, he's able to implement little like plays that he's like, hey, this play will work in this situation. Let's add this wrinkle into the offense. Let's add this wrinkle into the defense.
Yeah.
And I just think as a whole, it makes the whole team better, and it makes the whole offense better in general. Because you look at those Ryan Day teams, a lot of times, he was just targeting one receiver, and it's like, okay, you have 4 other 5-stars sitting over there. Kind of like Mike said, like, they could start anywhere else in the country.
Yep.
Why not get them all involved and make teams be like, okay, who do we guard here? We got to pick somebody.
Yeah, it's tough. It can be tough. And when you've got a quarterback that can make those reads, quick enough, it's almost impossible to stop.
Yeah. But like I said, Ryan Day's always been able to develop quarterbacks, so whoever he picks, I'm confident with.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you go to with Hartline calling plays, right? He's a receivers coach, first time play caller, right?
Yep.
From
long time coach, first time play caller. Sorry.
Yeah. From experience, you can either call plays or you can't. There is a processing speed in someone's brain that they can either call plays or not. Chad, it's just like when, remember in college, we were trying to do play. You can either do play-by-play or you can't.
Yeah.
And if you can't do play-by-play but got good stuff to add, you're good color commentary.
Yeah.
But it's either you can or you can't. And you don't just put him out there to call plays if you don't think he can.
It's a tough skill to develop at that level. It's
yeah. You can,
it is,
and
but
plus, not the only guy up in there in the booth. So
yeah, but it's kind of one of those things too, where it's like, I think with Hartline being a receivers coach, he can't be in the booth, right? Because then who's going to coach the receivers on the field, right?
There's not much coaching receivers on the field.
Yeah, but I think it's one of those
that O-line coach is necessary, but
yeah. But like I think it's one of those.
That's
things
my area of concern, by the way, is the O-line. I think there's some possible concern up front.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things too, though, where like Brian Hartline, learning from Ryan Day and learning from Chip Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
I think it could be one of those things where it's like, if play calling doesn't go well the first, like, say 3-4 weeks, but you're still winning games, I could see it being one of those things where it's like, okay, Ryan Day takes over play calling.
Yeah.
And then next year, you go out and you look for an established offensive coordinator.
Well, do you think Hartline sticks around for that, though? I mean, getting passed over.
I mean, yeah, probably not. But at the same time, or maybe you give him another shot because you don't want to lose the best receivers coach in the country.
I think that's the dynamic here that's weird, is like, how do you treat Hartline now? Like, if he doesn't do well, like I said, does passing him over make him feel like he wants to move on? Would he not want to be a part of this program anymore? I mean, he played here. I don't know. I mean, does that make a difference?
You got to remember, before we had Chip Kelly, he was the offensive coordinator again. Just Ryan Day was still calling plays.
He was. But I don't think there's any problem bringing a guy like Chip Kelly in. Like, you understand, like, hey, he's got an NFL and a college pedigree. He's coached some of the best offenses of all time, really, in college football. I think bringing a guy like that in versus like bringing someone from like, Duke, that's like, whatever. I mean, because where do you get the next guy from? If it's not an NFL guy, if it's an up and comer, where do you find him?
Yeah.
You're going to find him like Marshall or Duke or whatever. You're going to find him in a smaller school, or at least a smaller football program. And I think that might cause a little bit of a rift. I mean, I don't know if Hartline's the type of guy to like air it out publicly like Jim Knowles, but I think eventually he moves on if that happens.
I think Brian Hartline will do just fine. I mean, kind of like you said, he's been coaching forever. He was a great receiver at Ohio State, and it's kind of one of those things too, where it's like, like as a receiver, he's gonna know like how to beat certain coverages, right? And he's gonna know who to target, and he's gonna know when to target what receivers, and
he's got a good feel for the game for sure.
And like you said, though, adding that Purdue tight end though, Max Clare, that only helps his receivers. because that adds another threat that they have to guard on defense.
Absolutely.
And I mean, Mike, this as a coach, like you can never have too many weapons ever.
No.
Like the more weapons,
unless you have a bad quarterback that's overwhelmed by having too many weapons, and then maybe.
But what also helps the passing game too, though, is we haven't talked about it, but the run game.
Yeah.
Last year, Ohio State had 2 1,000-yard rushers, right?
Yeah.
I don't think you get that same production this year from 2
backs. You don't think Peoples and Donaldson are going to be that? I don't disagree with you.
I think Peoples could get 1,000 yards, but you're not going to have 2 running backs to get 1,000 yards on the ground.
No, I think it's more likely to have a 1,000-yard guy and maybe a 500 or 600-yard guy.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
But
maybe another 300 or 400. I think they'll use more backs this year.
Yeah, but like you said,
you've got Bo Jackson down there too. Not the Bo Jackson, but you've got Bo Jackson down there too.
But like you said, Chip Kelly was so innovative in the run.
Yeah.
The fact that we had 2 guys, 2 of the best running backs in the country, get over 1,000 yards in the same system, and you still had your quarterback throw for over 3,000 yards. It's how do you come up with all these yards?
Yeah, out of an offensive line that wasn't necessarily a bunch of maulers. I mean, they just, Chip Kelly's really good at finding those little the zone blocking schemes and just really good at just creating, like I said, something out of nothing. I think that's really impressive. It was cool to watch him work. Fun to have him there for a year. You know what I mean?
It was.
Listen, we preseason All-Americans. We know Jeremiah Smith is first-team All-American preseason.
Wait, he is?
He is. Shockingly, I know, after, catching 5,000 passes for 15 touchdowns, it's shocking that he would be whatever. But I just felt like he had over 100 catches. Sometimes it's weird how much he was all over the place. But Caleb Downs is the guy, he's a first-team All-American on defense as well. So here we are. The Buckeyes, I almost said the Browns. Wow. Buckeyes are in this weird situation of having maybe the best player on each side of college football, right?
No.
They've got the best offensive player, maybe the best defensive player. Is that kind of cool? I think it's kind of cool.
I mean, when's the last time that happened at Ohio State?
I don't know. It's hard to match up the two sides.
I don't think it's probably ever happened.
I mean, you'd have to look back, I think, for a while, and I'm sure you would find. But it's hard to even find arguments who's better than Jeremiah Smith on offense in college football?
Nobody.
I don't think anybody is. I think he's NFL ready right now.
And I think it's – and with Caleb Downs, right? You kind of lucked into getting Caleb Downs because, he committed to Alabama under Nick Saban.
Mm-hmm.
And he said he committed to Alabama because of Nick Saban, because of who he was and how good of a coach he was.
Yeah.
And, his top 3 schools after he committed was Alabama, Ohio State, and I think it was Clemson or Florida.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
But then, Nick Saban retires after 1 year, and Ohio State's we're gonna get Caleb Downs, but then it came down to 3 schools again. I can't remember 3 schools, but luckily Ohio State got him.
And I feel like Georgia was one of them.
I think Georgia was, but you look at what he's done now, and you're like, okay, I can see why this guy was a 5-star starting at Alabama as a true freshman.
Yeah, and people want to point, well, he only had 2 interceptions. Well, he wasn't asked to play one role in the defense. I mean, he did everything on the defense. He did even return to punt for a touchdown. That was amazing.
Yeah, that's just who he is. And I mean, Chad, we talked about last year. I mean, last year in camp, he was before they got Quinshon Judkins, he was taking reps at running back.
Yeah. Right. And there was serious talk about him maybe playing some running back.
Yeah.
But that punt return against Indiana was great. If you missed it, much like Kurt Signetti, you can Google it. Sorry, that was my little shot at Indiana. By the way, Indiana, I should mention, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Big Ten. They've got a guy that a lot of people are looking at, maybe possibly. I've heard rumors that people think he could be the first overall pick, man, Fernando Mendoza at quarterback. And I've seen him going all kinds of places. I've seen mock drafts already with him not even in the first round. I've seen him going 17 to Pittsburgh. I've seen him going all over the place. I think that's kind of an intriguing thing to keep your eye on too, because if Signetti actually gets a really good quarterback,
Indiana could be.
He's a good coach. Watch out for that, right?
Yeah.
So I just want to get into the defense a little bit because we only had actually a couple minutes left. We can go over a little bit. It's not a big deal. It's a Sunday, right? It's a lazy day.
Sunday.
I know Mike has some fish to catch after this, so I don't want to hold him up too much. I don't want to,
This is more fun.
This is more fun. I love to hear that, man. We could nothing stopping you from doing this on the dock, by the way. I'm just saying. You set the tripod out there with the cell phone and go while you're fishing. But I think the defense is intriguing because, just Matt Patricia coming in, new defensive staff, whatever. I think that's kind of intriguing. There's a lot of names that jump out. Obviously, Caleb Downs is one of them. Edric Houston has apparently been playing really, really well at the defensive tackle spot. You've got Kenyatta Jackson and Caden McDonald right now as the starters on the 2 deep at the defensive end and nose tackle spot. Again, they kind of use that 4-2-5. You got Bo Atkinson transfer listed as the other starter on the defensive line. I think it all comes down to that front 4. I think if they can get pressure with the front 4 like they did so well when Chase Young and the Bozas were there, I think this is a really, really, really dangerous Ohio State team. But if they look like the first couple of years of Jim Knowles, where they got no defensive pressure up front at all, I think they could struggle and lose 2 or 3 games, to be honest with you.
I agree.
The defensive backfield is better, I think, this year than it's maybe – I don't know. I don't want to say that it's been, but then the perception, right, going into each season, like we had questions about Igbinosin last year, a lot of defensive pass interference penalties, but really when it came down to it, he got the job done. So you can't really complain about Igbinosin.
Kind of like you said, Chad. I think it's kind of one of those things where it's like Patricia's always been able to get pressure from his defensive lines, no matter who he's kind of had, really.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, like you said, Boyer could kind of be like that. Well, kind of like both of you said, Boyer could be like that second set of eyes who's coaching the defensive backs and be like, look, like, you know, this helps our guys, you know, be able to cover longer. You know, why don't, or kind of like Mike said, like, hey, why don't we try this stunt here instead of this stunt?
Yeah. And front four helps out the back seven. I mean, the back seven, they're running all over the place, man.
Yeah. And it's kind of one of those things too. It's like, especially against these, you know, these big teams like Texas, you know, and all these Big Ten teams, right, that have, you know, these established quarterbacks that can break down a defense. It's like, okay, if we're not getting pressure and if we can't force them to throw the ball early, they're going to pick us apart.
Yeah.
And I think but when you don't have that standout defensive lineman like we have in the past, you know, like the JTTs, the Chase Youngs, the Bosas, right?
Yeah.
It has to be a whole group effort. It has to be a collective effort. And if it's not, it's just going to be like Jim Knowles where you can't get any pressure. And you're going
to have to blitz. They got to blitz a little bit. They're going to have to blitz a little bit and trust some guys.
But having a guy like Sonny Styles, who's 6'4", 244 pounds, you send him on a blitz, like he can hold his own.
Yeah, absolutely. He's not getting stopped by a 5'10", 185-pound running back. Like,
no.
Good luck. I mean, you can.
It's kind of one of those things too. Where it's like, you know, you send him on a blitz, right? Oh, well, here's Caleb Downs. He's just going to, you know, slide in his spot and might pick off a ball and take it 70 yards to the house.
Exactly. And you have to think about so many things as a quarterback playing against this type of a defense where they have, like you said, these athletes at every level that can, you know, mix and match spots and drop back into coverage. And I mean, they did it with Jack Sawyer a few times last year, dropped him back into coverage. And you saw it pay off. I mean, they've got guys that can do that. I mean, JTT did it last year and the year before. I mean, it's just when you're that versatile at every level of the defense, it's really, really hard as a quarterback.
I mean, Mike knows this as a coach. I mean, it never hurts to have guys that are that versatile, right?
No. I mean, put them anywhere. It's great. Yep.
Like,
I have 2 middle linebackers that I can start at any point. You know what? I'm going to put one at nose and just attack that center's arm each time and shoot that gap.
Find out who your better wrestler is and let him go get leverage every play. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep. That's amazing.
And I think sometimes, right, like these defenses, you know, that don't have like that star defensive lineman, right? It's kind of like that. Okay, you know, like we're not supposed to be good. Let's show the world, you know, that, you know, you can't just bully us around. Like we're a team. You know, we're gonna have each other's backs, and it's kind of one of those things too. It's like, you know, you hope when there's not a star, you hope they're holding each other accountable, right? Like if somebody makes a mistake, you know, you hope you see that guy getting on him, like, hey, like, you know, like let's not do that again. Like I don't know if you guys remember the Georgia clip with Nolan Smith when he was at Georgia. The linebacker made a mistake. He got on him, and the next play the guy intercepted it, and Nolan Smith was like his biggest fan.
Yep.
And it's like obviously Nolan Smith was a star. But it's like, you know, you hope you see that from guys like Caleb Downs and, you know, because he's going to be the captain of your defense, right? Like I mean, with everybody gone. So it's kind of like, you know, you hope you see him, you know, kind of directing traffic and, you know, making those big plays and hyping people up. Because when you don't have that, like I said, when you don't have that elite pass rusher, but you got a bunch of versatile athletes, it helps.
Yep. Agreed.
It's like Mike said, you can put them wherever.
And that they do.
They do. That they do.
Let me ask you guys this. Before we get out of here, I want to ask you, when Ohio State plays Texas, Mike, what's your gut? Who wins this game? What's the score?
I think Texas wins.
You think so?
Just being real. I think that quarterback is too important. And I can't remember what our center status is. Who's our center?
Right now?
Last year.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on his name right now, but it's
the kid from Alabama.
Carson Hinsman. Sorry.
Hinsman.
Yeah. So, all right, I think we're fine at center, and that's the most underrated offensive line position, in my opinion. But
your center's important for sure.
I just think it comes down to the quarterback, and they have so many first-round defensive players that until you get established as a quarterback, your team can't be elite if the dude running the thing doesn't know how to run it.
Yeah, they've also got a safety that's first team preseason All-American, by the way, too. I'm blanking on his name as well right now, but yeah, Texas has some guys, man, and I think getting an up close look at Ohio State last year helps them a little bit.
Yeah, week 1, it's Texas wins. I'd say by week 5 or week 8, it's I think it's going to be. I think we're back.
I think I agree with you, and I think I say that because there's no established quarterback right now, and I listen. I firmly believe Ryan Day knows more about that quarterback battle than he's saying publicly, which is smart.
He's supposed to have a meeting tomorrow to announce the quarterback, so we'll see.
Okay, I wouldn't even announce it now. I'd keep it internal until August 25th or whatever. When you have to announce your 2 deep for that week. I think he knows more than he's saying publicly. I think it's he probably knows who's going to be the starter. I'm not saying that they're up in arms because they don't. But listen, the fact is, whoever's going to be the starter hasn't really played much college ball, right? So that week 1, and it's going to be, again, I think it matters that it's a noon kickoff. It's going to be so hot on that turf that there's going to be just a whole different level of distraction. I mean, maybe there's your distraction if it's a night game. It's still going to be warm. But I think it's like, I don't know, man. I just think there's a lot that I think you're right. I think Texas, Arch Manning has that advantage. He's played a couple of games. Started and completed a couple of games at the college level. He's got that experience over both Sayan and Keenholz. So I think that it's like you said, Mike, it's so important. The quarterback position is so important that any little bit of an advantage, you lean toward the team with the more established quarterback, right? And I think right now Texas is that team. I think it's gonna be a really close game. I think it'll be like I don't know if you guys remember when Texas came to Columbus back when Tressel was here, and it was a super close game. The Vince Young era or whatever. But yeah, I think was that Colt McCoy? It was Colt McCoy, wasn't it? Yeah, it wasn't Vince Young. I'm getting old. But yeah, it was a close game, and I don't know. I could see like a 27-23 type of game. I don't think it's going to get out of hand. I don't think anybody's going to put up 40 or 50 points. I'd be really shocked if that happened. But yeah, I think it's going to be a 1-score or right around a 1-score game. Ben, what do you think about the Texas Ohio State game?
See, I think it's kind of one of those things, right? Like, I think it could be, I think we're still going to have an elite level defense because, we have Matt Patricia.
Yeah.
And I think it could be one of those things where if Ohio State's going to win this game, it's going to be on the defense, right? I think it's going to be like last year where, you might get a strip sack from somebody. Obviously, you might not pull a Jack Sawyer and return it to the house for a touchdown, right? Yeah. But, that
would be remarkable if this year's game comes down to that as well. That would be remarkable.
But I think
if it's Jack Sawyer, that would be a problem because he has no eligibility. So now we're looking at sanctions, but it's fine.
But I think it could be one of those things too, where it's like, if you can get Arch Manning to make just a couple mistakes, maybe it's a pick here, maybe it's a pick here and a fumble here, right? Like,
yeah,
all your offense has to do. All they have to do, but like if you can go down and score a touchdown, and like change the whole momentum of the game and rely on your defense to just get key stops, you got a shot to win.
Yeah,
3 plays. Yeah,
exactly.
Like I think the first team that makes a big mistake is going to be in trouble in that game. I think they're that evenly matched.
But I'm going to
somebody's going to make one.
I'm going to say the opposite of Mike here. I think Ohio State wins this game, but I think we lose to Penn State later in the year.
I think losing to Penn State is a real possibility this year. I do.
I think this is finally the year that Drew Aller, beats Ohio State. But I think we beat it. I think we beat Texas week 1, and I think I could even see us losing by double digits to Penn State. I think it could be a big loss there but obviously it's a 12-team playoff, so it won't matter. But
yeah, my losses are interchanged. Realistically, I said I think the Buckeyes can go 10-2 this year. 2 of those losses are coming to either Texas, Penn State, or Michigan. I don't know what I don't know how that's going to shake out. I feel like they go into the big house and beat Michigan this year. I don't know. We haven't seen much of their, they have a freshman quarterback, Bryce Underwood. We haven't seen much of him at all, other than what you hear coming out of, the Michigan camp, which is always going to be positive. I'm not going to be like, hey, let's put out these social media videos that shows that our quarterback sucks, right? Like they're going to put out like highlights from whatever, and they're going to say good things about him. So we've heard good things about him, but we don't really know. So it's hard to really even call that game. But I feel like, 2 of those losses come from one of those 3 teams, right? I feel like 10-2 is reasonable. I think that's realistic. And of course, because it's Ohio State, the first time that they do lose, people are going to be screaming for Ryan Day to be fired. Any goodwill gained in the playoffs last year is going to be gone immediately, which is ridiculous.
But I was going to say, I also could see if Julian Sayin comes out and lights the world on fire, I could see Ohio State going 12-0.
Okay. Oh, you better light the world on fire every week because they're going to be very consistent with that.
But it's kind of one of those things, right? Where like,
but I thought Keenholz was your guy. So why is Sayin going to come out and light the world on fire?
No, I'm just saying, like, Sayin's probably going to be the starter.
Probably.
I want Keenholz, but like Mike said, Sayin, he's a special talent, right? Like when you see him throw the ball, right? Just every time I've seen him throw the ball, I swear it's a spiral. I don't think I've ever seen him not throw a spiral.
Yeah. There've only been a couple of bad decisions made on going with quarterbacks from California, so we won't.
But I think it's one of those things where whoever's quarterback has to come out and play perfect football week 1. If you don't, it's probably a loss.
Yeah.
But it's kind of one of those things where it's like Ryan Day's never made a mistake with who he picks at quarterback, and he's kind of like the quarterback whisperer.
Yeah.
So whoever he picks, I think they'll be just fine with.
He better start shouting this year, though, to get him ready for week 1.
Yeah.
So what Big Ten overall? Like, when you guys like think about the Big Ten championship game? I mean, what do you think? Do you think Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, Oregon, Michigan? Does Michigan have a shot? Ohio State, Oregon. I mean, when you think of that game in Indianapolis at the end of the season, like who are the two teams that your gut kind of tells you? I'll start with you, Mike. Who do you see there?
Well, I think whoever wins the Penn State Ohio State game is going to be in on the East.
Yeah.
Oregon is just so loaded every year. They got Dante Moore at the helm this year.
Yeah.
Who is a phenomenal talent out of Detroit, and he's and they got All-American back. They got a great offensive line.
And Dan Lanning's a guy I think guys really love to play for. I think Dan Lanning's a great coach.
Great. Probably Oregon. But
okay.
Yeah.
It just how good is Oregon's defense going to be though?
Right.
Because they
lost. They seem to always find a guy on that defensive line, no matter what, no matter who leaves. They seem to always find a guy.
Yep.
They do.
Big Samoan.
But,
I think they really are making people at Nike. By the way, I think they're just creating people, and somehow they end up on the roster. And I don't know what's going on there. But something's happening.
Phil Knight factory in the Samoan Islands. Yeah.
Chad,
right. They just got these guys like cryogenically frozen, right, ready to play for Oregon.
Chad, I don't know if you remember me talking about him last year, but Trey McNutt, the kid from Shaker Heights.
Yeah.
He broke his leg in spring practice for Oregon. He's out for the year.
Man, that's
freshman 5-star expected to get some playing time.
Man, that's
broke his leg. He's out for the year.
I don't love that. I hate to see that. I don't care who you play for.
I do too, dude. It sucks because I saw that kid play in person, and that kid is good.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, he was
like obviously he's not as good as Jeremiah Smith, and he's not gonna but he was one of those guys that you could plug in as a freshman. He was gonna make an impact.
Yeah, that's too bad, man. Hopefully he'll be able to come back. I mean, broken bones are usually better than torn ligaments, so hopefully he'll make a full recovery. I think that's about it. I think, man, unless you guys have anything else to add. Mike, do you have anything to add at all?
No. Besides the honkers look great.
I love that. Love the honkers looking great.
Football. I think we scrimmaged two really big teams yesterday or Saturday. Now, whenever this comes out, but Saturday and
we're there, buddy. We're live.
We look really good. So I'm really excited. I'm calling defense this year, and got some dudes, guys who can play maybe D2 level.
All right. Love to hear it, man. I love to hear that, man.
Hey, and we're big Brunswick fans on this show too.
We do. Yeah, we love the Kenmare Honkers. We love the Brunswick Blue Devils. Listen, Mike, we're gonna have you on throughout the year to give us some Kenmare Honker updates, right? This is like we're gonna have to have Mr. Covey or hopefully Coach Carter on to give us some Brunswick updates at some point.
I gotta get you a Honkers jersey.
I'm all for it, man. I will wear it on the show. I will proudly wear my Honkers jersey, sweatshirt, t-shirt, whatever it is. I'll wear it on the show. I love it, man. All right. Well, hey, listen, I want to thank our special guest, Coach Michael Pugh. I almost left out Coach. Sorry about that, Coach. Coach Michael Pugh, thanks so much for being with us again, man. I know this is taking time out of your fishing day, but I did appreciate you saying this is more fun than fishing. So I do appreciate that. I'll get you that $20. I promised you to say that on the show. I'll send that out to you, and then you can send me my Honkers shirt. Ben, as always, man, I appreciate your insight, even though I think you are wrong about many things all the time. I'm just kidding, man. You're not wrong. The only thing I really disagree with you on is the quarterback. And I know you want Keenholz. I don't dislike Keenholz at all. I just think it's really hard to make that decision going against the 5-star Alabama transfer, right? When you've got those two guys on the roster. Unfortunately, I feel like Keenholz is a little more indispensable. That stinks for him, but I also don't know if he's a guy that leaves anywhere. Do you think he leaves Columbus if he's not named a starter? Do you see him transferring out, or I mean, how do you feel like that goes?
Probably.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's got a shot to be a really good quarterback somewhere. I don't know where he would end up, but I'd be intrigued to see what happens with him. You know what I mean?
But I mean, Sands, what, a sophomore, junior?
It's third-year sophomore, I think.
Third-year sophomore. So I mean, technically, you have him for. I mean, he could leave after this year, but
he could.
I think it's one of those things where if he doesn't have like a year to his expectations, where he stays for another year, you get him for 2.
to develop. I think that's possible. Yeah, I think that's actually very likely. I haven't seen him mentioned on any mock drafts at all, really, to be honest with you. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him stick around. But no, I'm sorry, he's a redshirt freshman. He can't leave after this year. I apologize. No, I was wrong. So yeah, he cannot leave after this year. This is only his second year out of high school. So he will have to have one more season. Yeah, it's good for the Buckeyes. Great for the Buckeyes. So other than that, just like I said, I want to thank our special guest, Coach Mike Pugh. Remember, get over to tennisintheland.com if you want to head over there to the West Bank of the Flats and watch some really, really good women's tennis in Cleveland. That's going on through August 23rd, so you can still get tickets there if you're interested in that. Other than that, just remember to please go to Facebook and follow the show and follow us on YouTube. And you can, well, it's my personal channel, but it's where we go live. But yeah, ask us questions. I mean, if you have any thoughts on this Ohio State coming season, if you think I'm crazy that you think they're going 12-0, you think they're going 6-6 or whatever, let us know. I mean, comment in the comment section on either one of these videos. Just you can post it on the show's page. We'll respond. We're there. We listen to you. We like you guys. Other than that, just thank you so much for watching. I know we went over a little bit, so this is like a feature-length film now. I'm gonna have to pay somebody for this before we don't get off soon. Again, Mike, thanks a lot, man. Ben, thank you for being you. And I've been your host, Chad Bryan. This is another episode of the Sports Show with No Name. We will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.